What's going on, guys? Welcome into another episode of Mavs Latest. I'm your host, Cody Brusso, and fortunately still at work. People don't like to come in when there's just a little bit of a cold out, and that's okay, though. I'm making money, just like I'm playing Underdog Fantasy. Hit that QR code if you want to join me over there and try and win some money. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about the soap opera going on in Dallas. We're also going to talk about, should the Mavericks be making a phone call right now? And where we're at in the standings. Are we buyers? Are we sellers? What's going on? All that and more coming up next. Now, I would be talking about the Bucks versus the Mavs, but of course that got postponed and it's going to be rescheduled by the NBA. The Mavericks wanted to be able to play that game today as you're watching this, and unfortunately the Bucks said no. They wanted it scheduled later down the line. So it's going to be up to the NBA now to decide that. The Mavericks just could not get off the tarmac. Their plane was delayed so long that unfortunately they just weren't able to make Milwaukee. The Lakers, of course, saw what was going on with the Mavericks and changed airports in order to be able to fly out. So we'll just wait for the NBA to let us know when that game is going to be happening. Now, moving on to the soap opera that is going on right now in Dallas. And many of you have seen us talk about it on this show. And, Tim McMahon, he says there are trade discussions, and Anthony Davis's agent, Rich Paul, has made it clear that he thinks it's in Anthony Davis's best interest to be traded. Anthony Davis now has come out and said that he does not agree with that. He doesn't feel like he needs to leave Dallas. He feels like he can win in Dallas, blah, blah, blah. And it has been said that Rich Paul is seeking a 3-year extension. Dallas doesn't want to give that extension. If you've been watching the show, you already know we tried to dive into it anytime it comes up. Well, now Rich Paul on his podcast, I still don't understand why he has a podcast, but on his podcast, he denies that he's been demanding the Mavericks to trade Anthony Davis. And he says, if you're wondering why Rich Paul has a podcast, this is part of the reason why. The reality of it is that's fake news. And he goes on and elaborates more. You can go check that out if you want. But I would say this. There's been a long history of Rich Paul trying to use his influence and everything like that and kind of bully teams around and get the most money for his players. So do I believe that he's not doing this and this is fake news? No, I don't. Not in the least bit. I believe this is 100% his doing. And like I've said many times before, it's never been about Anthony Davis as a person or Anthony Davis's skill set. It's been strictly his injury proneness, why I don't want him as a Maverick. He has come in here and he's done everything right. He has tried to do right by the community as well. And I got to give kudos to Anthony Davis for just weathering the storm. No one wanted to be that guy that was traded for Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? I mean, who steps up and says, yeah, I'll be that pariah? Nobody wanted to be. So it is what it is. But if I'm an NBA superstar or a future superstar, and I'm seeing all the drama going on with Rich Paul and everything like that, I'm steering clear. Like, do I want to get in business with Rich Paul? Not a chance. I will never. But you know what I mean? Like, if I'm an up-and-coming player, and I'm seeing the distractions that he causes, I don't know if I could say okay to that, or even as a parent. Let's say my son, he's 15, he's into sports. Let's say he makes it big. I'm steering him clear of Rich Paul because I don't want anything to do with an agent who sometimes feels like he's bigger than the actual athlete. Now, guys, fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back. And Underdog is the best place to get in on the action. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, assists, blocks. And you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Now today on Underdog, unfortunately, I am not a winner. I had the Rams beating the Seahawks because they do also do NFL amongst other sports. I did have Puka going higher. And yeah, I got that win, but unfortunately for me, I did not hit on all three of my bets today. So I will miss out on my chance at 5,000 times my cash. Now you can download the app if you want to come try your luck and use promo code BASKETBALLFAN to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code BASKETBALLFAN. Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
Now welcome back in, guys. And something came out on Hoops Wire, and it says Daniel Gafford is officially in play. Multiple teams have checked in on the Mavericks center, including the Celtics, Hawks, Hornets, Pacers, and Warriors. Now, at the same time, something happens in Atlanta. Atlanta, their own PR, so this is 100% confirmed, and this is a roster move, so it has to come out. The Atlanta Hawks announced today that forwards Asa Newell and Zachary Ricochet have been assigned to the College Park Skyhawks. So Newell and Ricochet are now in the G League. So if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, I'm looking at that going, what's going on? Y'all did what? Y'all think the number one draft pick needed to go down to the G League, the guy that we were targeting? You think Newell, who played with Cooper Flagg, 6'11 power forward, athletic power forward, needed to go to the G League? Oh, well, hey, y'all remember how y'all called and checked in on Daniel Gafford? Let's talk. Now, I'm going to put up on the screen just a mock draft. This isn't anybody else's mock draft. This is what I thought, and I'm sure this draft is going to hit the timeline from many, many people. But for me, I was looking at it, and Daniel Gafford and D'Angelo Russell. I mean, what's the point in having D'Lo on our roster if we're never going to play him? The trade of Ricochet and Newell and their first-round pick, not the Pelicans one, but the later one, for Daniel Gafford and D'Angelo Russell works for both teams. Now, this gets us, two young players and a first-round pick. This also gets us some flexibility here that puts us at $4.7 million under that second apron. So we're getting a little bit of relief as well. The Hawks, of course, after trading Trae Young, they are still under the tax space 4.6. They're under that first apron 12.7, and underneath that second apron 24.5. So this trade works out for both teams if the Atlanta Hawks are truly interested in Daniel Gafford. Now, of course, this is all based off of the fact that Mavericks are claiming that they can ride with, of course, Anthony Davis through this year and potentially in the next. I mean, he can play center. Newell can come in, or Ricochet can come in and play that power forward spot. Cooper Flagg can play the small forward. Clay or the knife or Max Christie can play that shooting guard. And of course, we'll eventually be getting Kyrie Irving back, hopefully sooner rather than later. And we've got a pretty good roster if they can stay healthy. Emphasis on the if. But on paper, that is a solid roster to make a run at the play-in and be that dark horse, be that sneaky team to make a run in this playoffs. Now, speaking of playoffs, we are a half game behind the Grizzlies in the 12th spot right now. We are 19-27 with the Grizzlies at 18-25. Of course, that still keeps us out of the play-in. Grizzlies also on a 2-game losing streak. The Clippers, though, 20-24 right now, hold on to that last spot. They're sitting in the 10 spot. The Portland Trail Blazers, 23-23. They've lost one. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Now, I'm mentioning all these teams because is there anybody that we can't catch from those? And I say no. The Grizzlies are 3-7 within their last 10. It seems like they're going the opposite direction. While we're finding our groove, we're 6-4 in our last 10. They've really started to drop off. The Clippers, of course, 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a good run right now. They're starting to gel. That would be the one team that, I think might continue to ride the momentum and honestly keep going up this list. The Trailblazers 7-3, but I still think they're kind of a fraudulent team. So I think they're going to come back to reality soon. And this last loss may be the start of just that. The Golden State Warriors, of course, 7-3 in their last 10. They're 26-21. And maybe, just maybe, the loss of Jimmy Butler over there, might just send this team into a spiral. You can never count, of course, Chef Curry out. I would not bet against Golden State, but there is a possibility. The one that kind of makes me scratch my head here is the Minnesota Timberwolves, 27-19, but they're 4-6. They've lost 5 in a row. As that schedule over there, and it kind of blows my mind that they're on this slide right now. And I'm hoping, against all hope, that doubt kind of creeps in and stuff like that, and maybe this team implodes on itself with all the Rudy Gobert and everything like that over there. The people that we've seen be divas before can hopefully turn into mega divas again, and they'll implode on themselves and cost themselves a playoff spot that maybe we can sneak into. So again, the Clippers, I think, are going to continue to ride that momentum. But man, that Trailblazer spot, that's the one team in the play-in right now that I think is kind of fraudulent, and we can go and get that spot. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And I'm going to end this episode on something controversial. And I know PJ Washington can't be traded just yet. But if we did do that Atlanta trade that I was talking about earlier, or if we did go get an actual power forward, I would want the Mavericks come the offseason once, July 2nd or 3rd, when the new NBA season kicks off and you can actually start doing stuff again. I would want the Mavericks to move PJ Washington. Him and Coop, I just don't feel like they play well together. I think Coop takes a backseat to PJ, and PJ, let's be honest, PJ has been regressing. Was he a product of the Luka Magic? Maybe. Something for us to keep an eye on, because especially since coming back, I know he had personal business going on, and maybe his head's not in the game just yet. Maybe he came back too early. But it hasn't been the same PJ Washington. So it's just something to keep an eye on. And if we upgrade at the power forward spot, like I hope we do, I think it would be time to potentially move PJ. Could we get a solid backup point guard for PJ Washington? I think so. So maybe something to think about, something to look at. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's going to do it for this episode of Mavs Latest. Whether this was your first time, your next time, make sure it wasn't the last time. Hit the subscribe button down below. And if you get a chance, smash that thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Thank you guys. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.